Hi guys, John Jackson here with Alliance Insurance Services. I want to talk today to my business owners out there and about a coverage that everyone has to have, whether you think you might or not. This is workers' compensation insurance or workers' comp coverage. And this is a vital coverage that everyone needs if you have 3 or more employees. Period, end of story. No matter what state you're in, you've got to have it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick FAQ, what we always call frequently answered questions, and let you guys know what you really need to know if you're just getting into workers' comp. So the first question is, what do I need to get a workers' comp quote? And it's actually pretty easy. The first thing you need is your business information. Who you are, what you do, where you're located, contact information, that kind of thing. The second thing is the kind of business that you operate. So this is really important. It's called classification, and it really helps us to determine the kind of risks that you experience as a business owner in this particular industry. The third thing we're going to need is payroll information. And so we're going to need about a year or an annual amount of payroll in order to be able to give you an accurate quote. And that's really it. Those 3 things are the main things that we need to go ahead and get started to find out how much it's going to cost to get you this coverage that you have to have. The second question that we usually get is, how is my premium determined, or why does it cost what it costs? And this is answered by going into something that is kind of unique to workers' comp, and that's called Modification Factor. So the Modification Factor, or MOD, is determined by your previous claims history. So the more claims that you've had in the past, the higher your MOD is going to be, and the fewer claims you've had, the lower your MOD is going to be. So basically this is all a big formula, right? And so your previous information goes into this formula and it determines how it's going to affect what is the base rate that you would normally have depending on your industry. And if that is a little confusing, you can go on our website and to the blog that accompanies this video for a little more information on it, and there are also lots of other places online, but really what you should do is talk to an agent, and I know I say that all the time, but you know, it's the best thing to do. So the next question we get asked a lot is, what is an occupational disease? Now, an occupational disease in workers' comp refers to something that happens through work, but it isn't necessarily an injury. It's not like something that happens to you directly. So it can be something that happens over time, like carpal tunnel syndrome, which you get at work through steady, repetitive motion, or something that happens that you're exposed to at work that leads to some sort of illness later on. Now, the last thing that we get asked a lot is, what is an IME? Now, that refers to an independent medical examination. So if you get injured at work, typically what happens is you go see a doctor, and the doctor will say, yeah, it looks like this is your injury and it looks like it did occur while you were at work. So if your employer wants a second opinion, your employer can send you to a doctor that is a neutral party, and they can perform another examination. So that's what an IME is. It's an independent medical examination to kind of follow up and make sure that there's an objective party double checking to make sure that an injury is real and that it did occur at work. Make sense? So that is a very quick introduction to the world of workers' comp. So these are just some of the questions that we get on a daily basis about workers' compensation insurance. If you have more questions, like I always say, ask one of our agents. We'll be happy to talk to you about it here at Alliance. This is something that we really like to do. We love helping people with workers' comp, not only because it is so important, it's vital, but also because it affects all of us. It affects everyone from bosses to employees. Everyone in this country probably is under some sort of workers' comp policy, unless you just happen to be a freelancer or in an office of one, whatever that looks like. So workers' comp is really important, and it's a really important part of being an employee or a boss in the United States. If you have any more questions, let us know. Thanks for watching.